Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know what it is. It's a Monday morning. It's time for Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. We're going to get it cracking with some music from my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto. Let's jump on in, share the video. The Urban Conservative Top of the Morning starts right around now. You know what? Life is precious. Every moment contemplating the essence. Lessons from transgressions. Progression from adolescence. Document verified our blessings. And the first you gotta be present. Scrolling through the timeline, but they ain't get the message. Not meaning what they saying like it was auto-corrected. Acknowledge what you talking, but I ain't gotta respect it. Not always online, but always staying connected. Food for thought, the most important is breakfast. It's snakes in the grass, watch who you rap with. They take what they need and they make an exit. As quick as it came, as quick as it go. The type to get you all twisted. The show might stab you in the back, yet be calling you bro. All we ever really wanted was a simple things. Not a lot, just a little of the simple things. From the bottom to the top, yeah, we made it. Never pay attention to the people that be hating. Only that cause they ain't got the simple things. No tomorrow's not promised, so we live in the moment. Learn from the past, for that we steady making atonements. Hear the youth say we can't identify, beg to differ. Grew up in the era where you can never slip up. Lost too many friends to drugs, jail, and diabetes. Burn the L after L, then try to take it easy. Time keeps slipping, and history repetitive. We used to burn the chronic, now they tweaking on sedatives. Look before you leap out the window. Trying to do the dance, but you don't even get the tempo. Professional, tell you fake it till you make it. Success coming, they start displaying their hatred. It's rules to the game, we stay dedicated. From the basement, no question, we elevated. And made changes for the best so the future look brighter. And keep the negativity out the cipher. All we ever really wanted was a simple things. Not a lot, just a little of the simple things. From the bottom to the top, yeah, we made it. Never pay attention to the people that be hating. Only that cause they ain't got the simple things. Simple things. Simple things. Simple things. Simple things. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. You are rocking here on the Urban Conservative. It is time for Top of the Morning. Yours truly, Abdul Ali, rocking with you on this beautiful, amazing Monday morning. Got to give a big shout out to everybody that's rocking with us here on the Urban Conservative. Mug shot this morning. Simple, plain, straight up mug. I ain't doing too much. If you haven't done so already, we need you to go over to the website to support what we do here, which is to share conservative values and principles and the benefits of conservative policies to urban communities across this great, wonderful, and amazing nation of ours. If you haven't done so already, that website is tuconservative.com. Not only can you click on that sponsored TUC link, grab yourself a t-shirt and grab yourself one of these nifty, handy-dandy Urban Conservative t-shirts or mugs. You can also get yourself a Hamilton plan. $10 for the year supports the Urban Conservative and what we do. That is basically the way you can support us here on the Urban Conservative. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before we jump into this morning, before we jump into the whole Trump situation, before we jump into that, couple of quick memes came across the radar, and I thought y'all would find this hysterical. Y'all know what it is. And does this kind of feel like you? Does this feel like you in life, just trying to mind your business, and then you have all of this propaganda shoved down your face, down your eyes? Can't watch a movie, can't listen to a song, can't go on the internet, can't watch TV, just so much propaganda. Well,
Ladies and gentlemen, this meme was actually fairly appropriate, being that this month is what it is. But I thought I would start out because I saw that and I said that's about right. I can't watch a movie, can't, it just seems to be all pervasive. And then, you couple that with this. I don't know how or what this is. Can anybody tell me what on God's green earth that is? I have no idea what this lady is supposed to be doing in that thing. If anybody can help us out, let us know exactly what it is we're looking at. I mean, she has the flag. I don't know what that is, folks. I have no idea what the heck we are looking at. But you can follow us on Instagram. You can follow us on everything, basically, at The Urban Conservative. You get more nifty stuff like this to look at, content galore. But with that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to jump in to this morning's show. Before we start talking about Trump, there's a couple of things, a couple of heads up. If you are not aware, there was a big water issue going on in Atlanta. That has been corrected. Water begins to flow again in downtown. The outage began Friday morning when water gushed into the street where three large water mains intersected in downtown Atlanta. Then a separate break occurred later in Midtown. But water pressure is returning to Atlanta and nearby neighborhoods yesterday after a 2-day outage shut down businesses and left faucets dry at many homes. A large portion of the city remained under an order to boil water before drinking it, but Mayor Andre Dinkins said in a late Saturday news conference that one of the two major water main breaks affecting the city has been repaired. Quote, "I know it's been a tough and frustrating day for many of you, but I'm glad to have some positive news to report. This first-term Democratic mayor, who faces re-election in 25, was again apologetic, even as residents continue to savage the city's response. Among the critics, Megan Thee Stallion, who said Friday and Saturday night shows at downtown State Farm Arena were canceled. Of course they were canceled because you had no water and people can't use the bathroom. Okay. Now, she said, call the mayor. All day they've been telling us we can perform, the rapper said in a video she posted Saturday. Arena management said they hope to have a Sunday night show to make up for the Friday night. The problems began when there were three large water mains intersect just west of downtown. Department of Watershed Management Commissioner Al Wiggins Jr. said at a Saturday news conference that some of the pipes that burst were old and corroded. The pipes coming together in a confined area. It was a tight squeeze to make repairs, with only one worker at a time working in a manhole accessing the junction. Repairs were completed Saturday. So you have water. Another water main burst in the city's Midtown neighborhood, studded with new offices, hotels, and apartment towers. Officials weren't sure why that pipe had broken. But that is all fixed, and water is again flowing for the folks in Georgia. Now, the other interesting thing that's going on, and I don't know why this, we're all, the media has us up in arms. I mean, all the way up in arms over the Trump situation, right? We're talking about Trump being found guilty of those felonies there in New York. However, this is the real story right here is what's going on. Hunter Biden. People don't want to talk about it. Jury selection set to begin in Hunter Biden gun case. Child of President Biden's son on federal gun charges comes just days after former President Trump's guilty verdict. Jury selection begins today in the federal gun case. Biden, the son of Democrat President Joe Biden, faces 3 counts tied to possession of a gun while using narcotics. He's pled not guilty. In the beginning of Biden's trial just comes days after the conclusion of a criminal trial against President Trump. U.S. District Judge Mary Ellen Noreika says she plans on calling potential jurors in groups of 50 until they're able to find 12 people who say they can be impartial when it comes to the president's son. Now, I wonder if they're going to do a full-on Democrat or a full-on Republican jury, because I'm sure that's what they did in President Trump's case. According to court filings, among the questions she plans to ask potential jurors in the Wilmington courthouse are, quote, do your views regarding the 2024 election or any of the candidates for president in any way prevent you from being a fair and impartial juror in this case? And Do you believe that Robert Hunter Biden is being prosecuted in this case because his father is the president of the United States and a candidate? Another question says if they believe he is not being prosecuted for other crimes because his father's the president. They're going to do everything they can. And Biden is going to make sure he does everything he can, Joe Biden, to make sure that his son is not touched. Do y'all hear me? He is going to do everything in his power to make sure that Hunter Biden walks away from this as scot-free as humanly possible on these gun charges. Now, two of the counts accuse Biden of having completed a form indicating he was not using illegal drugs when he bought a Colt Cobra revolver in October of 2018. The third count alleges he possessed a firearm while using a narcotic. The indictment said Biden certified on a federally mandated form that he was not an unlawful user of and addicted to any stimulant, narcotic drug, and any other controlled substance, when in fact, as he knew, that statement was false. Do I need to pull up the picture of Hunter with the crack pipe in his mouth? Do we need to do that? Prosecutors from special counsel David Weiss's office say they plan to call around 12 witnesses. Among them, they're expected to call are Hunter Biden's ex-wife, Kathleen Buell, and his late brother's widow, Hallie Olivier Biden. Prosecutors are expected to use portions of Hunter Biden's memoir, Beautiful Things, as evidence against him, as well as a summary of data from his phone and iPad. Biden's lawyer, Abby Lowell, has said he wants to call the owner of the gun shop as a witness and would also like to call 2 to 3 expert witnesses. Weiss's office has challenged the testimony of some of the experts. The trial is expected to take about 2 weeks. The judge who was nominated to the bench by Trump has let folks know this is going to take about 2 weeks. At a May hearing, the Raker ruled that prosecutors would not be able to mention their other pending case against Hunter Biden in California, where he's facing 9 tax-related charges. He's pled not guilty in that case, which is scheduled to go on trial September 5th. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. What they're not talking about, what they're trying to keep out of the mainstream media, what they don't want you to know is that the jury selection has set to begin in the Hunter Biden gun case. Now, let's see how much differently this case is prosecuted than Trump. So let's just see how that works out. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk a little bit about this MAGA movement. Seems that it can't be stopped here. And we'll be right back after this commercial break. Y'all don't go nowhere here on Top of the Morning. Country illegally cast a ballot, it takes the power of your vote away. Visit onlycitizens.vote to find out how you can contact your legislature and get them to pass a citizens-only voting amendment. Again, visit onlycitizens.vote and defend your right to vote. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back. Rocking on a Monday morning. It's Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the internet. Rocking with yours truly, Abdul Ali, one half of the TUC twins. Big shout out to my twin brother, Raheem, Architect Soto. We will be rocking with you tonight, ladies and gentlemen, 8 p.m. right here for the Urban Conservative Podcast. We're going to be talking MAGA. We're going to be talking about 2024. Just so much to talk about tonight. Make sure you're with us each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. And for my Watch Back crew, you can also go to anywhere you listen to podcasts because we are everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. So again, thanks for all the love. I'm shocked. Ladies and gentlemen, I am quite frankly shocked at how much money Trump was able to raise. I'm not surprised. Well, let me back up. I'm a little surprised, but I'm not like totally shocked about the whole thing because I knew if they found him guilty, there was going to be a fundraising blitz after the fact. But to the tune of 52.8 million. Former President Trump's campaign and the GOP raised $52.8 million in the 24 hours after he was convicted. In his hush money trial, the campaign mentioned this on Friday. Staggering total that represents more than half of what they raised in the entire month of April. Campaign said that Thursday's sum mostly came from small dollar donors, including 30% who were new contributors to WinRed, the GOP's fundraising platform. Fundraising totals can't be verified until the reports to the FEC are released next month. But a CBS News analysis of Trump's campaign fundraising through April found he has received an influx of donations following key moments in his legal battles. Before his conviction on Thursday, FEC filings show Trump's two best fundraising days were April 4th, 2023, when he was arraigned in New York City, and August 25th, 2023, the day after his mugshot was released in a separate criminal case in Georgia. The fundraising also spiked when he was indicted by federal grand juries in Florida in June in 2023 and in D.C. in August of 2023. He likewise saw a bump when a different judge in New York ordered him to pay $454 million in fines and interest in his civil fraud case in February. Okay. Between his conviction in the hush money case, Trump's team spent at least $94,900 on ads on Facebook and Instagram, more than double what they spent in the week leading up to it. There's several posts that I'm sure that you saw, but that's an interesting dynamic. I know it absolutely terrifies the left to see that much money pouring in to President Trump's campaign, especially considering the fact that they thought this was going to have the effect of people turning against Trump. Now, I like the way Augustina put it, hoax money trial. So it is a hoax. It is a sham. It is a shame, but it has fueled the Trump campaign to the tune of $52.8 million coming through to support President Trump. I think that you're going to see a lot more of that as these other cases go forward, as we see what happens down in Georgia. So we'll keep our eyes on it. Again, $52.8 million. Okay. Trump's ads in the wake of the verdict echo the theme that he is a political prisoner. The fact of the matter is he's doubling down on the narrative, urging those who visit his WinRed donation page to never surrender, as you should not. And one of the interesting things about this, now, I'm going to get skewered for this. People are going to say, oh my God, Abdul, you shouldn't say that. There's no way you should say that. But let's consider something, because I know what the left is trying to do with this. What they're going to say is, oh, how can you vote for a convicted felon? He's a felon. He's been convicted of a felony, and there's no way you should vote for a convicted felon. Do remember that the founders of this country were all but felons to the crown. They were considered outlaws. They'd be considered by today's standards a felon. So no, you're not going to see people moving away from supporting Trump, especially in a case where you cannot simply say what he was charged with. You don't know. Nobody has been able to give me a clear, concise, well-said, well-spoken explanation of what the flying farfignugan Trump has actually done illegal. Nobody's been able to tell me exactly what that is in the New York case. So of course you're going to see people supporting him. Of course that's going to embolden people to support him. And I think what you're going to end up seeing is there are a lot of people on the other side of the aisle, on the left, that are going to support President Trump. They're going to do it. They're just going to do it quietly. So that's where we are. $52.8 million coming through for the Trump campaign. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back here on Top of the Morning. Don't go nowhere.
The U.S. is facing unprecedented times. Our ally Israel is under pressure. Ukraine is still under siege. Our economy is in shambles thanks to Democrat policies. And crime is on the rise in our major cities. Times like these call for one person who can cackle her way through any problem. That person is Kamala Harris.
Poor hubby.
right, ladies and gentlemen, you're rocking on top of the morning here on the Urban Conservative. So glad that you could be with us here. As you may or may not know, there is indeed a push here in the great state of North Carolina for citizens only voting. That is actually, looks like it's coming to fruition here in North Carolina, and I am ecstatic about that, as should you. These two gentlemen right here, State Senate Pro Tem Phil Berger and Speaker Tim Moore, are working on a House bill, right, that would allow citizens only voting. North Carolina House Speaker Tim Moore and other House Republicans are sponsoring a newly filed bill about citizen voting laws called HB 1074. Now, House Bill 1074 would not change who can vote in elections, but would alter the wording of the state constitution. State constitution already only allows U.S. citizens to vote in elections. This bill, which if passed, would be voted on by North Carolinians in November and eventually would become an amendment to the Constitution, would merely change the wording. In the fine print, the bill would change the Constitution from saying every person born in the United States and every person who has been naturalized can vote. The only change it would make, it would say only a citizens of the United States who is 18 years of age and possessing the qualifications set out in this article shall be entitled to vote. We're just changing the word only. Okay, a naturalized citizen, someone who's not born in the United States but has gained U.S. citizenship. Naturalized citizens are U.S. citizens, can vote in elections, and would be able to vote if this bill becomes law. Neil Jackson out of Randolph County is a co-sponsor of the bill and believes the bill would restore the public's trust in elections. The bill's introduction comes at a time in the Tar Heel state history when the percentage of people who are immigrants in the state is significantly increasing, while Republicans are also pushing for tighter election security. The immigrant population in North Carolina has increased, making up 2% of the total population in 1990 to 8% this year, according to a report from Michael Klein, North Carolina state demographer. Representative Dahl says she thinks the bill is a push by Republicans to discourage immigrants from voting and to scare people into believing non-citizens are voting in elections. Now, this is the problem that y'all gonna have people on the left when you say there's no such thing as non-citizen voting, right? All you have to do, is you Google the term non-citizen voting, okay? And then what you're gonna find out is that there are places that are allowing non-citizens to vote, okay? Let's look at it. Oh, I can't make this up. There you go. The map itself is right in front of you. You should see a map that shows you non-citizens are voting. There you go. There's the places where non-citizens are allowed to vote. The green, prohibit non-citizens from voting. The purple, non-citizens voting ballot measure in the 2024 elections. California allows non-citizens voting in state or local elections. Y'all see that right there. We can't make this up. Oakland, San Francisco, D.C., Maryland, Vermont. You understand? It's happening. These are the states with no impediment to municipalities passing their own voter qualification. Look at that. So this is not something we're making up. This is not something that you don't need to be worried about. You have in some municipalities across this country, you have people allowing non-citizens to vote. And then you're going to switch. You're going to have to push the envelope. You're going to have to push the, move the goalpost some more. Because you're going to go from, citizens, non-citizens can't vote, to, well, they're only voting in local elections. Part of the fear for that type of voter could be attributed to a case wherein a federal court prosecuted non-citizens in North Carolina who illegally voted in the 2016 election. Although naturalized citizens are citizens and can vote in elections, unlike those prosecuted in 2017, HB 1074's change in language could add to the uncertainty and fear naturalized citizens feel around eligibility. That is called fear mongering. You know if you're a citizen or not. You know whether you should be voting or not. The Board of Elections can help you determine whether or not you should vote. But this non-citizens voting, only citizens voting amendment, I need you, ladies and gentlemen, you need to contact your state house rep on both sides of the aisle. It doesn't matter. If you are represented by a Democrat, they need to hear from you as well, and let them know to support HB 1074 and SB 630. Citizens only voting amendment here in the great state of North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is on that. We are going to come right back. One last quick commercial break. You are not going to want to miss this. We're going to talk about the Mexico election, what that means for Joe Biden's southern border strategy. Y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back here on Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. Don't move. Doesn't mean you have to vote Democrat. This year, in order to see benefits for our communities, we need to vote outside the box. Find out more by visiting us at tuconservative.com. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're back. You're rocking here on Top of the Morning with the Urban Conservative. So glad that you could be here rocking along with us. Mexico has got a new president. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. The Biden administration is on, as it should be, pins and needles, as citizens in Mexico have elected Claudia Sheinbaum as the new president. If elected, she would have the legal authority. Now she is elected. She's the president-elect. She has the legal authority to undo an April agreement that Lopez Obrador entered with the Biden administration that the White House touted this week as having a positive effect in reducing illegal immigration. The next Mexican president has the authority to undo the late April agreement since the Mexican government reported they were in cooperation commitments. Because the April deal was a cooperation or partnership, the next Mexican president would not need congressional approval to drop out of it. You can't blame Sheinbaum for it. You can't blame Mexico for it. It's our fault that we really don't know and what's going to bear fruit. Millions of Mexican voters headed to the polls Sunday and chose Miss Sheinbaum as the new president. So hopefully, Mexico will have a president in place that will deal with this southern immigration border, because it appears the Biden administration does not want to do it. Okay? She doesn't want to do it. The fact of the matter is the Biden administration does not want to fix the southern border. They want to keep influx of potential new voters for the Democrats coming into the country. They want to create chaos. I can only think that is the case given the condition of the border policies, given the current condition of the southern border. One would only think that they want to continue to have chaos. Okay, so now you've got to look at and let me see this. Hold on. Where's she at? There you go. So Claudia Sheinbaum she's the current president-elect, and I'll just share this. We'll do this together. She's a Mexican politician, scientist, and academic, currently president-elect, member of the left-wing political party Morena. Sheinbaum served as head of government of Mexico City, a position equivalent to that of a state governor from 18 to 23, candidate for president of Mexico in the 24 general election. From 2006, she served as Secretary of the Environment under future President Andrés Manuel López Obrador. During his tenure as head of government, Sheinbaum served as delegational chief to the Tlalpan Puro from 15 to 17, elective head of government at 18. She emphasized curbing crime and enforcing zoning laws. A scientist by profession, she received her PhD in energy engineering from the National Autonomous University of Mexico. She was authored over 100 articles and 2 books on energy, the environment, sustainable development. So I want to take a look because I have no idea. And it says left wing, okay? But I don't know that the left in Mexico is the same as the left here. Okay, so in 2019, she implemented a gender-neutral uniform policy for students in state-run schools, allowing them to wear uniforms of their choice, regardless of gender. In 2021, she removed a statue of Christopher Columbus from Mexico City's Paseo de la Reforma as a part of what she referred to as a decolor righty. And there go the alarm bells. That's what I was looking for. So she's definitely on the left. Definitely on the left. However, in comma, I think she is going to be a thorn in the side of the Biden administration as it relates to the immigration issue. But we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. Biden administration on pins and needles. Mexico's elected a new president, and we shall see. But ladies and gentlemen, you have been rocking here on the Urban Conservative. It has been top of the morning. One more time. I gotta do this one more time. Just because we can.
The U.S. is facing unprecedented times. Our ally Israel is under pressure. Ukraine is still under siege. Our economy is in shambles thanks to Democrat policies, and crime is on the rise in our major cities. Times like these call for one person who can cackle her way through any problem. That person is Kamala Harris.
Poor hubby. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for rocking with us here on the Urban Conservative for Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. Make sure you join us tonight right here, same bat channel for the Urban Conservative podcast. Tonight's going to be a good one, folks. Y'all don't want to miss this. Again, for my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto, I am Abdul Ali. You've been rocking here on the Urban Conservative with Top of the Morning. Y'all have a positive and productive rest of your Monday. We'll see you guys tonight for the podcast. Peace and love, y'all. This season of the Urban Conservative podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description.